Alright, so today we're going to take a look at this video from American Redact titled Joey Diaz Melts Down Over Redbar. And you guys know how much we love Redbar over here. He inspired so many great channels such as American Redact, I would imagine. And he just hasn't made content in years. So the fact that he's still affecting Joey Diaz, kind of funny. We got to take a look at this, see what we got.
Somebody in my chat said, Red Bar is watching. Be warned, you are on a fool's notice. What the f does that mean?
He's a...
Oh man, they're still doing that. I mean, it's funny because it still works, but it's sad at this point. Like, there's still people out there being like, Red Bar's watching. You're on fool's notice. Like, hey man, no you're not. None of these dudes are. He is not paying attention to nothing. He's off doing something else. A little birdie, suppose I'll say, maybe in one of my comments had said something about Red Bar and Jules getting a divorce. I have no idea. No research on that. Just what I've heard. And if you think about the time off, it kind of makes sense. Because that's fucking Alfred to Batman. She's got all the inside scoop on that guy. And the last thing you'd want is for her to go out there and start a podcast and turn into Jasleen on Red Bar, because a lot of these comedians would support it. But Joey's calling him a fucking, you know, he doesn't like him. Put it that way. I don't think I can even say that word on YouTube.
And so are the people that fucking, they're just fucking police. They're just a handful of police. They've been talking shit for years. The guy they're talking about is gone.
Alright, so even though it's been nearly a whole year since the last time an episode of Red Bar came out, to this very...
Dude, I think it's been longer than that. I think it's been closer to 2 years. This came out 10 days ago. I mean, all you'd have to do is go to the website, but I feel like it's longer than a year.
Every day, it seems like even the mere thought of him still drives these comedians absolutely insane. Because just a few days ago, while Joey Diaz was live streaming on Twitch, someone in the chat wrote that Red Bar is watching, and it tilted Joey so much that he proceeded to go on like a 10-minute rant about Red Bar, and got so angry that Twitch ended up cutting his stream off.
Now guys, that's exactly what I said, right? It's funny that it still affects these guys. It's funny that saying that still pushes their buttons. Especially somebody like Joey Diaz, who was certainly on fool's notice. Okay? Red Bar was on his ass.
Since he was ripping so many slurs during the rant.
He's a rich kid. He had a comedy club in Chicago. He snorted it. He fucking, you know, he's a drinking. And then when he realized he couldn't be a comic, he started going after comics. And at the end of the day, they're just pussies. They threaten everybody and for no reason.
I'll tell you, it is pretty funny also thinking that Joey Diaz got his Twitch stream banned for however long. Because I bet he has no idea how to get it back. And I bet he had no idea that it was even possible to be banned. It's an old man playing GTA, dude. Definitely watchable, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on, man.
Man, your mother's on full notice. You guys are all a bunch of pussies, okay? And your fearless leader, he's somewhere fucking dying of cancer from the inside out, from taking it in the ass in Chicago all those years. So fuck you and fuck your mother, sucker.
So I think it's safe to say that Red Bar really did a number on Joey Diaz over the years. And now that he's been gone for a while without saying any reason as to why, Joey finally feels comfortable enough to just lay into him, which is pretty...
Now, my take on that was the fact that Red Bar's gone has given a lot of comedians the freedom to do projects or say things that they typically wouldn't say and act a specific way and get away with it. Because in their head, they're like, well, that guy's gone, so nobody's gonna tell me that I'm a fucking loser and look like a dipshit and I'm bad at my job. Oh, there's some of us out there still. I have no problem telling you that. But the fact that that name and that small sentence, Red Bar's watching, isn't as prominent as it once was, comedians are getting away with... I mean, imagine how he would feel about Jasleen and Akash and Tom and Christina's divorce. I mean, there's so many things that have happened since this dude has been gone. That's why I think it's been more than a year for sure, but we're still, you know, we're putting in some legwork here. It sucks that, you know, you would go out of your way to be such a fan that that's all you know, right? Like, only Redbar, you're waiting for Redbar's return. It's like, hey man, if he comes back, that's fine. But there's so much other great stuff out here. It just stinks that everybody's trying to, like, these comedians, like Bad Thoughts, Tom Segura's show, would probably get devastated by Redbar. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. And nope, he's just gonna make it all willy-nilly. Feel like he's a goddamn movie star.
Which is pretty funny because for the longest time, all these comics would treat Redbar like Voldemort and pretend he just didn't exist, even though they're all well aware of his show and probably even watch it from time to time. So even though Joey Diaz kind of shrugs Redbar off like a hater in this stream here, deep down he knows that Redbar's on a whole other level than anyone else out there that talks about them. And that
100%. He is better than all of us, okay? We have accepted that. We know that. We can't do what he did. I mean, the amount of money he put into what he was doing, talking about comedians, and time, the hours, that he put into the show, you know, 11 hours, 8 hours, 7, you know, all over the place, dude, on this shit forever. But again, he's not doing the research where he's just sitting down and watching every podcast and clipping it up and doing it for the show. Jules was doing that. Fans were sending stuff in. It wasn't just him sitting there like, let's see what the fuck Andrew Santino's up to this week. Okay? Which definitely helps. But again, the set, the screens, he was doing it really big. He was asking them to try to stop him. And now that he's gone, they can just do whatever, man. I wouldn't mind him coming back. I enjoyed watching the show, like most people who enjoy comedy. Like, I enjoy stand-up comedy so much that I have no problem with somebody telling me that this guy is not good at it, because it makes you look at it a little bit more. Maybe he isn't good. Maybe I only laughed at that because I was 16 or whatever the fuck it is, right? Or these guys are bad guys. They're up to no good, right? Andrew Santino cheating on his wife, the Brad Williams shit. There's a bunch of different things. I mean, Brendan Schaub, Tony Hinchcliffe, they all got it, dude. And he was the best at it. So it is a shame that this all happened. I don't know what happens per se, but the fact that he's gone, that happening is shitty. But either way, we hope for his return someday because the show is enjoyable, you know. Got a huge fan base, and these comedians need to be put in check by the man that they actually are afraid of.
And that every single one of his comedy pals not only are aware of the show, but are actually probably fans of his. I mean, a bunch of these Rogan Sphere comedians have actually come out and have said themselves that they watch Redbar.
Yeah, it's like when someone's like, oh, Redbar said something mean about you. I'm like, someone that talks about comedy for a living mentioned me? Like, I'm in the rotation in some way? Like, you don't get to decide how people talk about
Do you follow him?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
Yeah. I think that he's, I think so. I mean, there's something important about him.
What the fuck? He was original. He was good. He was genuinely entertaining, right? Even when he was getting you, you're like, ah, what's Redbar saying about me? Yeah. Well, I guess when Shane was hanging out with Stanhope for a month when he like lived in his house after he got canceled, he was like smoking cigarettes with Stanhope. And the Redbar thing was like he's smoking cigarettes with Stanhope to look cool. and you know it bothered Shane. Shane's like, oh, dude, I was just trying to look cool with Stanhope. He knew how to find the thread of truth.
So the thought.
And that's exactly why it still affects them. Some comedians can take it on the chin, but there are some comedians that got super exposed. Like, career ending. Okay? And that was even back with Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia. All that shit. But now that Redbar's not around, people have forgotten. All these new Kill Tony fans, they just started watching comedy like 5 years ago, so they probably are just now discovering guys like Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia, and they don't have any idea how dangerous they are. Because they don't know Redbar. They don't even understand what that means.
The thought of Redbar eventually returning probably keeps Joey up at night, because he's the one quote-unquote hater that really got under Joey's skin, which, if you didn't know, all started back around the year 2020, when Joey Diaz first discovered Redbar.
Oh guys, let's remember too, Joey Diaz is like a 60-something-year-old man who went through a divorce. That's why his little gaming setup there looks like he lives in a one-bedroom apartment. Doesn't have anything on the walls, you know what I mean? Very creepy like, but also putting on a face like, I'm fine. If that's the face of I'm fine, please let me jump out the window.
And found out that Mike had been talking about him as well, which led Joey to try and call Redbar out, but of course that backfired incredibly hard. Like, I don't think he really knew what he was going up against by doing this, because in that call out, Joey tried treating him like any other hater. But one thing that Joey didn't seem to realize was that Redbar had been covering these guys extensively for nearly 2 decades. So in his response to Joey calling him out, Mike started resurfacing old clips of Diaz telling stories about things he had said and done involving female open mic comics in exchange for stage time. And the problem for Joey here was that these were all stories that Joey told himself.
And this is exactly like the Brad Williams thing, where it's like, oh, after you get caught up being the bad guy, you'll just say it was a joke. Really? What part? What part was supposed to be funny? Who makes up that kind of shit? You're either a scumbag for doing it, or you're a scumbag for pretending that you would do that. Neither way is good, dude. And Redbar fucking bury most of these guys. They never had a chance. Never. So again, all of us that were inspired by him, and just being a comedy fan, is also why we decided, hey, somebody needs to say something about these fucking guys being bad at the job, or being bad guys. And then Redbar is like the guy in that field. Of course you're going to respect it. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of Metallica, but I understand their fucking influence. Right? You're going to listen to them because of that's where all the music you like came from. Either way, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Go check out the American Redact channel. I'm sure you have. Go hit up Redbar if you don't know what the fuck that is. There's definitely episodes that still exist. There's clips all over. And hit the like and subscribe here. And we'll see you in the next one.